This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
After the last year, I'm not sure if I could see a death sentence anymore when it comes to politics.
It happens whether it's in Hollywood or Washington or New York City. Powerful people get there and all of a sudden the power goes to people's heads.
Sexual harassment. Politicians are investigated, but while they keep their jobs, those in entertainment are fired almost immediately based on the allegations. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. We'll have more on the double standard regarding sexual harassment in a moment. But first, our top 7 stories at 7. And we begin tonight with that stunning murder in Englewood. Deputies say 48-year-old Jessica Winkler shot her wife to death during an early morning argument and dumped the body in a nearby lake. 51-year-old Rihanna Leindecker was a longtime resident of Englewood.
I just couldn't believe it because this is a very quiet community. Nothing ever goes on around here.
Jessica Winkler is being held at the medical wing at the jail under close observation. The search continues for a man wanted in a murder in Manatee County. Deputies say Demetrius Gabriel is responsible for the murder of 30-year-old Jarvis Isom, who was shot to death at the Spot 26 nightclub. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office is asking anyone with information leading to the arrest of Gabriel to come forward by calling Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen. Senate President Joe Negron says Florida's nursing homes should be paid for more for providing to the state's elder and frail residents. Negron says increasing Medicaid rates paid to nursing homes is a priority of his for the upcoming legislative session. Many in the nursing home industry say the rates paid to providers are low relative to the costs of providing care. Negron wants to make it a separate issue from a nursing homes getting generators.
I'm hoping we can do a reimbursement increase separate and distinct from the generator issue. How we pay for generators, I think ultimately is going to be a shared endeavor between the state and the industry.
The legislature authorized the new payment system but delayed implementation until 2018. There are new rules for City of Venice employees who text at work. Until now, texting government business wasn't allowed because the city couldn't archive the messages. But now the city has hired a company that will archive each message sent and received. This comes while the city clerk's office is responding to a massive public records request demanding every email, phone call, record, and text message by all city employees.
The public has the right to that information, and we want to make sure we can provide it to them in a timely and reasonable manner.
Employees won't be able to delete text messages from their work phones any longer. A big honor for Riverview High School. Riverview High School is getting its own IB program specializing in diversity. The goal is to empower more students to graduate with the skills and tools needed for college and lifelong learning. Less than 1% of schools nationwide have advanced programs focusing on diversity. The school district is acknowledging a rat problem at 2 local schools after a group of parents complained. The district says a pest control company is working on the issue at the Bay Haven and Southside elementary schools. Rodents are being trapped and parts of the schools are being sealed off. The district says both schools were built in the 1920s. And 2 local schools are earning big props from the state with Healthier Us School Challenge designations. In Manatee County, Ballard Elementary School is receiving the Bronze Award and Kinnan Elementary is getting the silver. Since 2012, the number of certified schools has increased from 27 to 384. The Healthier Us School Challenge recognizes schools which improve food and beverage options, offer nutrition education, and promote physical activity. Now let's head over to ABC7's chief meteorologist with the first alert forecast. Bob.
Alan, a beautiful day. It keeps going on and on, doesn't it? The weekend was outstanding, and today the Van Wezel webcam capturing calm conditions out there in the waters. Looking from the Van Wezel webcam, you can see the sun at one point producing another sun called a sundog. We'll talk about that a little bit later. A beautiful sunset tonight. People enjoying it. A lot of folks down here just can't believe how warm it is. Well, it's warm across most of the U.S., but That's going to change here in about 7 to 10 days from now. Long-range forecasts are indicating the cold will once again return, but it's still a long way off. And right now, these showers are a long way off, too. The well to the north of us, they're pushing off to the east right now. This system will stay in that general vicinity as high pressure continues to dominate the weather over the peninsula and through the Bahamas. And with that high pressure not moving, that rainfall will not move down south. 71 right now. We have clear skies and the dew point temperatures way up there, 68 degrees. These two numbers hit one another and the winds stay calm and skies are clear. You can bet on a pretty good deal of fog, and that's going to happen. That could happen pretty soon, mainly after midnight. We could have it even before that. The pressure continues to rise too, 30, 24. It's way up there, and the temperatures are way up there too. Low 70s right now at this hour. Typically, our temperatures should be in the upper 50s to low 60s, so we're running about 10 degrees normal even at this time, and that does not appear to change through this evening. We'll see temperatures dropping down to the mid-60s only, or normal highs for this time of year, Alan. Right around 73 degrees. We are into the low 80s.
I was starting to think that our winter lasted maybe 3 days, but I guess it's coming back.
Yeah, it's interesting to note, too, that winter officially begins on the calendar Thursday. And this fall, we've only had maybe 4 or 5 days of cool weather, really, for the most part.
We still need some rain.
Yeah, we do.
All right, thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, a double standard when it comes to sexual harassment, and no surprise, it comes to the politicians.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to SaveTheFood.com.
Hi, I'm Joan London with A Place for Mom. Over the years, we've helped thousands of families find senior care, and today's senior living communities have never been better, with amazing amenities like movie theaters, exercise rooms and swimming pools, public cafes, bars and bistros, even pet care services. And nobody understands your options like the advisors at A Place for Mom. These are local expert advisors that will partner with you to find the perfect place and determine the right level of care, whether that's just a helping hand or full-time memory care. Best of all, it's a free service. Call today. A Place for Mom. You know your family, we know senior living. Together, we'll make the right choice.
Call A Place for Mom right now to get our free ebook on financing senior care, as well as a free referral for senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-290-0352. That's 1-800-290-0352.
What if you had a medical emergency away from home?
My chest hurts. I can't breathe.
What you need is Mobile Help, America's premier mobile medical alert system. Most systems only work at home, but with Mobile Help, you get help outside the home with coverage nationwide on one of the largest cellular networks at the press of a button. Call the number on your screen for a free full-color brochure. We'll send you everything you need, including this base station, the patented mobile device, and the waterproof pendant and wrist button. You can also add the fall button that automatically detects falls and signals help. Call today and receive a risk-free 30-day trial. There is no equipment to buy and no long-term contract. For a limited time, you will also receive a free emergency key box with your plan purchase. Remember, Mobile Help keeps you safe coast to coast.
Call 1-800-916-8638. That's 1-800-916-8638.
Season's greetings from ABC7, your Suncoast News.
How many times in the last few months have you woken up to the news in the morning that your favorite morning TV host, journalist, or actor has been fired? The sentence for sexual harassment, immediate and severe, but have you noticed in the world of politics that's not always the case? Adam Cellini joins us with more. Adam.
Yeah, thank you, Alan. Those people with jobs have more to lose in a legal sense, while politicians primarily face pressure from their constituents and colleagues to step down.
You really have two separate lives.
Dan Miller spent a decade on Capitol Hill. The Bradenton native was 50 when he won a congressional seat, and with 2 kids in college, often had his wife accompany him to Washington, D.C. He was the minority.
At least 50 members sleep in their offices. I don't know about women, but mainly the men. And what they do is they have an inflatable bed, they blow it up, and then in the morning they get up and go down to the gym, work out, shower, clean up, and go to work.
The isolation, he says, paired with political power is an easy path to corruption.
Up there you're, wheeling and dealing with the other legislators, and they have all these young aides running around wanting to be your friend, and lobbyists want to be your friend, and people visiting that want to be your friend, and you're an important person in Washington.
It's why Miller isn't surprised the recent crusade to eradicate powerful men accused of sexual misconduct has netted several politicians. What started with Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein has led to firings across the entertainment industry and beyond. 20-year employment law attorney Amy Surgent says refuting these allegations can actually be harder than proving they happened.
You have to have solid evidence that those accusations were false and that the person who made the accusations knew them to be false at the time he or she made them. It's almost to a criminal standard of proving the intent.
And while Surgent recommends waiting for evidence before convictions, corporate America does not, severing film contracts with actors almost instantly after accusers come out. Or NBC firing Today Show host Matt Lauer the same day an internal investigation was started.
Big picture is that it's been going on for a long, long time. I just think the wave is a reflection of the willingness of people to come forward.
However, it seems in some cases it's taking a lot longer to force out politicians. Take Senator Al Franken reluctantly stepping down 3 weeks after his first accuser stepped forward.
In politics, it's both an individual sport as well as a team sport. We're seeing, I think, a variety of different scenarios across the political spectrum, but there are some trends in terms of differences, I think, in the Democratic Party and the Republican Party.
New College political science professor Frank Alcock believes Democrats see the hypocrisy of sexual abuse within a party that often touts women's rights, perhaps why they've been so swift to dispose of anyone associated with these issues. On the other side, Republicans like Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell have also pushed many to step down amid scandal. But the party's leader, President Donald Trump, put politics above ethics by supporting Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore, despite alleged sexual encounters with underage victims.
After the last year, I'm not sure if I could see a death sentence anymore when it comes to politics. So things that I thought would be automatic career killers have proven not to be.
Miller believes Republicans have applied adequate pressure to the accused party members in spite of the president, but isn't optimistic it will lead to any real change.
It happens whether it's in Hollywood or Washington or New York City. Powerful people get there and all of a sudden the power goes to people's heads.
Alan, out of 7 U.S. lawmakers accused of sexual assault since October, 3 are at least finishing out their current terms, and that includes our president, Donald Trump, who has multiple accusers.
Adam, thank you. Coming up, an extraordinary discussion with the Republican county chairman, a former state senator, a former state representative, and the best political reporter on the entire Suncoast. The trapezoid is next.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 3 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317. Go online or visit a Target store today.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-683-9262. This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
We live in interesting times, maybe pivotal times for our community and our country, and we begin tonight with the reckoning rocking Hollywood journalism and politics, sexual harassment. It hasn't gone unnoticed from Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, Matt Lauer, Charlie Rose. Their careers now over and done, snuffed out almost immediately and deservedly after allegations of sexual harassment and in some cases assault. On the other hand, we just witnessed a Senate election in Alabama where some Roy Moore supporters, and Roy Moore was nearly elected despite being accused by a number of women of harassing and groping them as teenagers. He still had the support of President Trump, who has been accused of sexually harassing more than a dozen women. On Capitol Hill, yes, a number of Republicans and Democrats have now resigned, but their demise certainly wasn't immediate. In fact, there is still debate whether Senator Al Franken should have hung on and fought the pressure to quit. And joining us for more is State Representative Joe Gruters, former state senator and current County Commissioner Nancy Dietert, former state representative and current school board member Shirley Brown, and Zach Anderson, political editor for the Herald Tribune. Welcome to all of you, and happy holidays to all of you. Nancy, let me start with you, because you were saying before we started here that you think it's important to talk about the problem of sexual harassment without talking about situations like Roy Moore. Why?
Well, because then it's just about politics again, and you can say, oh, that was your guy, he's terrible, we're going to win elections because your guy was terrible. Then it's a political discussion, and you're getting away from the real problem, which is sexual harassment, and it's been going on for more decades than we care to count. And to me, the real story is, and it was the real story for Time magazine, the real story is the Me Too movement, because tons of men were shocked at the depth of this. There is no woman in America or any other country that was shocked by the depth of this. The fact is that in the old days you couldn't complain. Are you going to be the first one to step up and say, Bill Cosby sexually harassed me, and everybody in America is going to agree with you? They're going to say, not Bill Cosby, he's everybody's dad.
Right.
Not Matt Lauer, we like him on the Today Show.
But they did get started in terms of the Me Too movement.
Bill Cosby,
that is true, but it got kicked into warp speed with Harvey Weinstein. And then you see people from media, whether it's Matt Lauer, Charlie Rose, they are gone before the next sunrise. On the other hand, you do have, whether it's members of Congress or people in government, hang in there, it seems, for longer. And some people saying, well, you know what, the real arbiters there are the voters, and they will, they will suffer the fate of the voters.
If I can take a few minutes on that topic, because it has to be dealt with that in politics, the minute you're accused, your career is over. And we have no process to decide.
President.
Well, there you go, being political again. You're supposed to be on my team, Shirley.
All right, all right.
So you get away from the sexual harassment. The beauty to me of the Me Too movement, and what made me put Me Too on my Facebook page, was Harvey Weinstein. The fact that it's a power thing. So yes, that's where politics comes in. Power has a lot to do with politics.
But Joe, Shirley raised the issue of President Trump, and that he was accused by over a dozen women. Obviously you could say, and I assume you do, that the voters made their decision knowing what the allegations were.
Well, listen, sexual harassment's a serious issue. I think that I'm personally for justice for the accused, justice for the victim. You know, at the end of the day, we need to have some process that's in politics to where maybe you don't take these allegations directly to the press. Maybe you go through some new system, and I know at the State House and State Senate, I think they're going to come up with a new policy that tries to address this. But at the end of the day, it is a career killer for most elected officials. You may be able to hold on to your seat if Al Franken decides to stay. Other people have been accused and stayed, but it is a serious issue. My guess is if you're accused of anything, it's going to be very difficult for you to ever move up in the system now. And it is up to the voters on whether or not they believe whatever side you're on. And certainly I think that all these allegations should be taken seriously, but they should be vetted and they should go through the process, because at the end of the day, we want justice for everybody.
Sure. Well, and I agree with Nancy. It isn't the political side of it. I mean, and it's not only women that have been harassed through this. I think what we're standing up now, there was always jokes about the casting couch. I mean, I think that was even talked about in movies. And I think that's the issue with Al Franken, too. The things that Al Franken did are still skits on SNL. I mean, we have got to have a change in our whole way of living so that we understand that that's offensive. It takes time. And I think it started bubbling up with the Bill Cosby and some of these others, but I think it's coming to a head now, and we need to have a real shift in the way we look at this.
Zach, I'm interested in your thoughts here, because we've had some people who are the most prestigious people in the journalism world who are gone today because of these allegations, but we also, both of us, cover politics, and we know that it is not such a simple answer when it's an elected official who is being accused.
Yeah, and you're starting to see the political process move a little bit faster with elected officials. There was just another congressman, a Democrat from Nevada, who said he's not going to run for re-election. This week, he had been accused of sexual harassment. I think it's up to 5 members of Congress now, just in the last 2 weeks, who have either said they're not running for re-election or they're, or actually are stepping down. So it is starting to move a little bit faster in the political world as it had in the media world and in entertainment, and I think that both sides are worried that this is going to become an election issue in 2018, and if they don't take action. But on the other side, there are people who are very concerned about whether folks are getting due process and getting afforded the opportunity to defend themselves.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll have more on sexual harassment after a quick break, so stay with us.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
If you're between 50 and 85 years old, call the number on your screen right now for free information on how to save your family thousands of dollars. We're Family Love Plans, and we've been helping families just like yours for over 30 years. The average funeral today can cost up to $10,000 or more, but the most you'll get from government benefits is just $255. How will your family pay the difference? At Family Love Plans, we can help you and your family. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam and your plan can't be canceled. Better still, your rate will never go up and your benefits will never go down. Get your free information about our senior plans. Just answer a few simple questions and receive approval right over the phone.
Call 1-800-707-3608. That's 1-800-707-3608.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value, great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
Now your ABC7 First Alert Weather Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Well, gorgeous sunset today. A beautiful day, too. High temperatures warming well above seasonal averages, upper 70s to low 80s. And it looks as though we'll see similar conditions again played out tomorrow, as warm weather is the big story right now. Warm and muggy, too. The dew point temperatures are summer-like readings right now, near 70. And with that in mind, a good chance for some fog forming tonight. That'll be the biggest downside of our weather over the next couple of nights. In fact, the possibility of some widespread thick fog that could hang around a little bit longer than we like. Now, we had a few storms earlier near the panhandle of Florida. Those have since moved well to the east. There's another round of storms coming, it looks like. Wednesday. Could see some more shower and thunderstorm activity to the north of us. So that's where the storm track is right now. Low temperatures tonight will be unseasonably warm into the low to mid 60s. Even some mid to upper 60s right along the water, with 63 in Venice, 61 in Lakewood Ranch. Clear skies, and it looks like a pretty good deal of fog forming. 66 the expected low. Anna Maria for our overnight reading. Now we have clear skies, 71, and look at that dew point, 68 degrees, just 2 away from the dew point as far as the temperature goes, with calm conditions and clear skies. That always portends to at least some fog forming in patchy areas. It could be rather widespread just after midnight. The pressure now is extremely high, 30-24. And the high today, speaking of that, was 79 degrees. Not close to the record, though. Look at that. Back in 1967, it actually topped out at summer, like 90-degree temperature there. Monthly rainfall, 1.05 inches, doing pretty well for December, and for the year will be well above average. Temperatures tomorrow will be above average, upper 70s to low 80s, especially low to mid 80s inland areas, and the RPM forecast model is indicating some fog around, especially to the north of us. So if you have a driving trip planned north of, say, the Tampa Bay area, it's going to be rather thick, I think, in places along I-75. And this particular model, even tomorrow night, depicting some sea fog developing in the Gulf of Mexico, but no real threat of any rainfall at all here for the foreseeable future. And boating, it doesn't get much better than this. Seas running less than 2 feet. Smooth conditions out there. The only problem, as I said, is some sea fog, and the water temperature now is 72 degrees. Tides upcoming on your screen. The next tide is a high tide, 11:25. Sunrise will be at 7:15 tomorrow, and mostly fair fog, maybe a little earlier than late now. I meant to change that, 63 for a low, and then partly cloudy, some morning fog around, then becoming warm and sunny by the afternoon. The extended forecast, the winter begins officially just before noon on Thursday, but temperatures don't respond. In fact, they actually warm up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Alan will be right back after this.
Listen to this important message. If you owe money to the IRS, you will want to hear this. Penalties and interest compound daily on your back taxes, putting you under a mountain of debt. Tax 10,000 has years of experience connecting people with tax resolution specialists. Working through the IRS Fresh Start program, they will handle all the necessary forms, and if you qualify, you may end up saving thousands of dollars. Call Tax 10,000 at 800-817-1064.
Thanks to all of you who participated in ABC7's Paris Vacation Giveaway Contest. Join us as we congratulate our grand prize winner, Heather Caston of Bradenton. She and her husband Clint are going on an amazing 6-night dream vacation for 2 to Paris, the most romantic city in the world.
Thank you, ABC7. We're going to Paris.
Congratulations, Heather and Clint. We hope you have the trip of your lives. ABC7. We're here for you.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
I'm Stephanie Roberts. Coming up on Suncoast View, we have the hottest tickets in town. West Coast Black Theater is known for its sellouts. We've got 2 shows to share with you, so you don't miss out. Plus, we ask a Suncoast doctor about new blood pressure numbers and what they mean for you. We learn about sea debris with Moat Aquarium, and Spice and Tea Exchange joins us in the kitchen.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
Growing up, my mom was afraid of the water, something she did not want me to feel.
So I enrolled Missy in swim lessons.
It changed my life.
Missy Franklin.
And now you can do the same for someone that you love.
There's nothing more precious than your child's well-being.
So act now before it's too late.
Make us swim! I'm glad I did.
Thanks, Mom. Visit usaswimmingfoundation.org to find, get, or give a swim lesson.
Everybody can make something, because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Welcome back. We're talking about sexual harassment in politics, and joining us for more is State Representative Joe Gruters, former state senator and current county commissioner Nancy Dietert, former state representative and current school board member Shirley Brown, and Zach Anderson, political editor of the Herald Tribune. My colleague Adam Cellini had the fortune of talking to former Congressman Dan Miller recently, who said even when he went into office, he was 50 years old, so the kids were out of the house. He was able to go up to Washington with his wife. But there were, he does say, in the halls of Congress, and we should remind people that a lot of members of Congress sleep in their offices, it was a pretty incredible scene. And so this has been going on for years, not only in Washington, but also in Tallahassee, where three of you have served. Are these, are we now at a point where what you saw and witnessed when you were in office is no longer the case?
I think it's probably always been so, and frankly, now that I think about it, what's making things a little better, very small increments, we're taking baby steps, frankly, is getting more women elected. When it was all men, you should have heard what they did in those days. We've all heard the old stories. You can't do that anymore. There's always going to be a few, and it really has to do a lot to do with arrogance. Sometimes when you get a title, you think there's a little crown on your head, and you think all the women you see come with the job, and they don't. I don't really know that all the men are like that. I think it's probably a very small percentage. They're going to be headline grabbers, but since there's confusion currently going on, I think we need a definition of sexual harassment. What constitutes sexual harassment? The other problem with Tallahassee is the aides, who are 90% women, can be fired for any reason, and that's always been the rule. That way, no matter who you fire, they can't come back and accuse you of anything, because you had the right to fire them for any reason.
Joe, as this has all been playing out, and there have been a number of allegations against current and now former members of the state legislature, you've been up there all this time in terms of committee weeks. What kind of, tell me what has been going on. What have you all been saying to each other in terms of cleaning up the act of the legislature when it comes to this behavior?
Well, certainly it's an honor to represent your community up in Tallahassee, and so I think everybody takes that responsibility very seriously, and they don't want that reputation to be tarnish them in any way. And I would say I've only been up there for a year, but I will tell you that 98% of the people that I run into are good people. They don't do anything that's even remotely close to being unethical, I would say. And but what happens is, because we are in politics, you take one or two or three of these bad people, and these stories gets blown up in every newspaper. It gets sensationalized or used as political weapons. By the end of the day, I would say most people up there, listen, they want a clean system, but I will tell you, it definitely has already had an impact. You know, where I was the longtime chairman of the party, I give a lot of hugs, and I tell people, I'm only shaking hands now, right? And I see other people, they will not. I saw it happen a couple of times where you saw two close people, they're just saying back, I'll shake your hand, no close touch. I've had conversations with some members who say they may put a sign outside their office that says everything in this office is being recorded, to just for their own protection, and to make sure that either it's going to go on 24/7, like some type of cam that will always be live, or just for their own sake in case they ever get accused of anything later on. That will have a ripple effect of Tallahassee in the long term, but at the end of the day, most people up there are good people. They want to do the right thing on both parties, and hopefully this allows us to continue to clean up whatever mess is left.
But up until now, Shirley, we've heard stories about there are bars that, where all the action is, and that some legislators who don't want to have any part, they just go home at night, but there is a whole social scene at certain places in downtown Tallahassee where the action is.
I know when I was there, sometimes we'd go to a place called Roosters Dancing. I was never sexually harassed. I mean, I don't know if that has something to say about me. Maybe they didn't want to, or maybe I put out some airs that I wasn't there.
You're also a member of the legislature.
It doesn't stop them.
Okay.
Doesn't stop them. I was never treated with anything but respect. But I do know that there were people, I mean, even when I was there, that anybody that came up, but there are people that will come, females that will come and want to be with the power, that will actually seek them out, and is that harassment? Because I know that some women want that too, to say that they've been with so-and-so.
Right. Zach, we work in the competitive field. Why has this taken so long to come out?
Well, a lot of this is rumors. A lot of this is, kind of things that are whispered behind the scenes, and it's hard to verify. These are incidents that often happen without any witnesses, with maybe just two people in the room. So you hear rumors, but, because of this Me Too movement, a lot of people have felt more empowered to come out and talk more about it. So you're getting more sources, and journalists feel more comfortable writing some of these stories because they're getting, multiple people making accusations instead of just hearing somebody whisper one of these rumors.
Joe, you made reference to the rules that are being changed in Tallahassee. There's been discussion also in Congress about changing the rules there, but it seems like the rules as they were so arcane that it really put the onus on the person who wanted to bring or needed to bring an allegation forward, that it made it extremely difficult to do.
And I think over time it's gotten, and hopefully because of this movement, it's going to be easier, because nobody should be subjected to any type of unwanted sexual harassment. And so hopefully the process in Tallahassee and D.C. make it available so victims can go report it and feel safe and make sure that they're protected. That's what, at the end of the day, that's what we want. And by doing that, we'll ensure that justice is had, and hopefully it will continue to change people's behaviors, especially the bad people, because, like I said, in Tallahassee, I would say most people are, 98% are good, ethical people. They don't go out. They aren't doing the crazy things that maybe the old days they did, but they're out there trying to do what's best for their community. But hopefully now these new rules and these new procedures will open it up so more people will feel empowered to report it right away.
I'm interested to know from all four of you, are we at a moment that it's going to be a sea change in terms of the Me Too movement in politics, in government? Nancy?
I think so, and I think what's empowering is for women to say, or men to say, if they're feeling pressured, I think the first thing you should say is bring it up. Say, no, I'm feeling uncomfortable when you do that. If it continues, report it. I don't think the first incident of somebody touching you, depends upon where they've touched you, of course, necessarily is harassment. I mean, to me, a harassment has to be continuous or has to interfere with your job. The incidents that we're hearing from Matt Lauer and Weinstein, I mean, they go beyond what we would normally talk about. But I think that women should be empowered to say, no, you're making me feel uncomfortable. Or if they're in an office and they want to leave the door open. I mean, to be able to do that, I would hope at least they'll be able to do that these days, before it moves to where it's harassment.
Nancy?
I think there's going to be a culture change. We have to all learn how to be more comfortable with each other without going back to the old rules. I mean, the old rules is your boss, who was a guy, and you're the secretary, he's in charge of you. And he thinks, I mean, In our business life, we've had guys say crazy things, and you have to kind of sit there and take it or lose your job. I thought the best description of why women don't report, not that they're afraid. The woman who accused Roy Moore, frankly, she gave the best description of why she waited 40 years. First of all, you might lose your job. Then later on, you get married. Your husband's going to go punch the guy out. These are the things women know are going to happen if they speak up. So do you want to cause problems for you and your husband, and you're both going to lose your jobs, and then what? Nothing changed. Or you're married and you have kids, and it's a high visibility person. Do you want to be in the newspaper and embarrass your kids at their school? It's easier to just forget about it, you had a bad experience, and move on.
Zach, we have less than a minute left, but do you think that the way that the journalists are going to report on these allegations or look for them is going to change now?
I think definitely. I mean, you're seeing that a lot of these allegations are being substantiated, or at least you have a lot of people alleging the same thing, and it clearly seems like it's very likely that a lot of things happen. So you're more likely to look for these stories, you're more likely to report on them, people are more likely to come forward, and so you're more likely to have sources. Commissioner Dieter made an important point earlier. You know, one reason that this could be perpetuated, or one important aspect of perpetuating it, is having more women in elected office. A lot of it has been women that have spoken up, whether it was women that forced Al Franken, the women of the Senate who forced Al Franken to resign, and other positions as well. So I think that'll be an important sign of whether or not this continues, is how many more women get elected.
All right, we have to take another quick break. Stay with us.
Glasses and contacts. You need them to see, but they put such a strain on your life, you miss precious moments. Due to new advances in vision improvement technology, LASIK is now affordable for almost everyone, with procedures starting as low as $299 per eye and over 1 million procedures performed by our trusted independent surgeons. LASIK surgery is a sensible, safe, and affordable solution to improve your vision. Our simple 3-step process begins with a free evaluation, followed by an extensive preoperative exam to determine if you're a candidate for LASIK eye surgery. Depending on the results of your evaluation and eye exam, you and your surgeon will choose the LASIK option that works best for you. So call now to talk to a LASIK Vision Institute counselor and schedule your free evaluation. That's a $100 value, free. Call the LASIK Vision Institute for your free evaluation and enjoy more of your life.
Call 1-800-813-0109. 1-800-813-0109.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
And our guests join us right now for final thoughts. So, Joe, you have been hearing what's been going on both in Washington and Tallahassee over the last few weeks. What's the one thing you would like to say to our viewers in terms of how things are going to change from your perspective?
I think we've empowered victims now, and I think they're going to be able to go out and make some of these allegations, and hopefully we'll have real justice for everybody. At the end of the day, that's what we want. If there's bad people in office, we should flush them out, and if people are making false accusations, that should also be flushed out, and then there should be repercussions. But certainly we need to empower the victims, give them the opportunity to have a voice.
You know, Nancy, we have a special election coming up in House 72 here. Both the Republican and the Democrat and the Libertarian are all women in terms of running for that seat. You you know, actually James Buchanan.
Well, I was going to say, you forgot James Buchanan there.
Sorry about that. I wouldn't know because James hasn't been here yet.
Yeah, I know.
But you talk about the importance of getting women to run.
Yes. Well, number one, to close up on your sexual harassment, the Me Too movement and what's going on in today's world should show men the depth of what's been going on for decades and decades. Women have put up with this as in their teenage years, their business life. Going forward, I think what you need to do is have a way for them to complain anonymously and have a structure that somebody can weed out, ruining somebody's career over a hug versus real intimidation and discrimination.
Well, that's the question, Shirley. There's a pendulum that swings back and forth, and we have seen people resign in disgrace pretty quickly, but do we need some kind of moderation in terms of taking things into context, or what?
The things we've seen, I think, probably did require resignation, some of those that are out there. But I think I don't want to protect the victims. I want to protect the women before they become victims, so that they can stand up and they can say, no, this is not right for me. And maybe have businesses rewrite their policies and how to deal with it. And hopefully men understand what isn't allowed anymore. And if a woman feels uncomfortable, or a man feels uncomfortable in the presence of a boss, to say, this makes me uncomfortable, and be able to listen to without having repercussions to that. So that's where the policies need to be changed, but I think we're empowering them to stand up and say how they feel about it before they have to go to the press.
And Alan, on the politics of all this, I think unfortunately we've seen this issue sort of break down in predictable political ways, where, you know, Republicans have been more inclined to defend Roy Moore, Democrats have been more inclined to defend Al Franken. You see people sort of kind of continuing to be very polarized and partisan in how they respond to some of these accusations, and it would be hopeful going forward that, you know, there's some way to kind of depoliticize some of these things.
And we'll have to leave it there. FYI, you can watch past discussions on demand. They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. And for the latest local breaking news, don't forget to download the updated version of our app. If your current app doesn't work, it's because it's expired. Just go to the App Store and re-download it by searching for WWSB or My Suncoast. We want to thank our guests tonight, State Representative Joe Gruters, former State Senator and current County Commissioner Nancy Dietert, former State Representative and current School Board Member Shirley Brown, and Zach Anderson, political editor for the Herald Tribune, all for joining us tonight. When we return, we'll have a final look at your First Alert weather, plus our prime time headlines.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop pad that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value, great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7, your Suncoast News.
The holiday hazards most often seen by emergency room doctors in HealthSmart.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Warm is the word of the day. Temperatures upper 70s to low 80s, well above the seasonal average, which is right around 73 degrees. Looks as though the rain that we see to the north of us is weakening, continues to push off to the east. It's associated with a little weak disturbance right there, and it looks like it'll stay to the north, too. There's another one expected to develop midweek, which will also stay well to the north of our area, so no rain in the forecast. Right now it's 71, dew point way up there, and that means the potential for fog is a real possibility, and it could be rather thick, especially around sunrise tomorrow. Winds are calm, and the pressure way up there, 30-24, and that continues to rise. And no rainfall to report today. We'll stay dry, too. To wrap fall up, winter officially beginning just before noon on Thursday. Now, current fog conditions, a lot of it to the north of us, and that's where the bulk of the heavy fog will be. However, it's starting to spread southward already. We're getting some reports of fog over parts of Manatee County and North Sarasota County, although the visibility with the last check about a half hour ago was at 10 miles, and that's the maximum, so no problems yet, but I think that will be changing with the next data run that comes out at the top of the hour. Well, here's the fog forecast, and it is calling for that fog to start after midnight. You see the orange on the scale here starts to show up, and you can see the orange and red getting close to red, meaning foggy conditions at 4, 5, 6, 7, and then by 9, most of it should be out of here, although some sea fog may linger. We'll keep an eye on that. And then it'll be back on Wednesday. I should say Wednesday morning, we could see again a lot of fog rolling in from the Gulf of Mexico. Well, as far as our forecast is concerned, for tomorrow, the temperature trend is calling for temperatures to warm into the upper 60s by 9 o'clock and then upper 70s by 1 o'clock and low 80s, low to mid 80s, not out of the question throughout the day for us tomorrow. And not only the temperature trend, but we do have nice skies throughout most of the day. After the fog burns off, skies will become partly cloudy. Well, here's the forecast. Tomorrow, east winds turn to the northwest at 5 to 10 knots. Bay and inland waters will be smooth. The water temperature now still warm for this time of year, 72. The beaches will see a high of 77. High tide upcoming, 11:25. The low will be at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning for Sarasota Bay. Some fog late, otherwise mostly fair, low of 63. Tomorrow, another beautiful day, partly cloudy after the fog burns off, 79 for your high. The extended forecast. There's winter starting on Thursday. The first full day of winter will be Friday. It'll be 80. And then we stay pretty warm right through the weekend. Alan will be back after this.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-683-9262.
I'll be right back.
I'm Anne. I'm a scientist.
Recycling takes a team.
Why don't you let me and me help you out?
Everyone plays a part. Don't trash
I love taking stuff apart and building new things out of it.
what could be treasure.
Pal's my most advanced android. This is awesome. You haven't seen anything yet.
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
Don't allow your weight to threaten your health or control your future. Excess weight or obesity can cause emotional and physical health risks. But you can take control. The Your Weight Matters campaign offers free resources and tips to help you measure and understand your weight. Take the Your Weight Matters Challenge. The free toolkit prepares you to speak with a healthcare provider about your weight. Your weight does matter. Take the challenge and take control today.
Mark Zupan, part of the U.S. Paralympic rugby team. In my game, movement is everything. I get frustrated when my move is blocked, especially when that guy has no right to be there, even just for a minute. I love a challenge, but I don't like to play this game every day.
A message from the United Spinal Association.
Checking primetime headlines, multiple people are dead after an Amtrak train went off a bridge and crashed onto a major interstate highway below in the Pacific Northwest. ABC's Scott Carty is following the story.
Amtrak 501, emergency. We are on the ground. We are on the bridge 5 at the square. Need EMS ASAP. It looks like they're already starting to show up.
Tragedy on the tracks. Just before 8 a.m. Pacific time, an Amtrak train traveling south of Tacoma, Washington, went off the rails and crashed on a busy highway traffic during rush hour.
Then I started hearing all the sirens and turned on the news, and then we saw it.
The Department of Transportation says at least 78 passengers and 5 crew were on board before it derailed and crashed onto Interstate 5. Several motorists on the highway were injured. Local authorities say all of them survived.
Right now, life safety is really our precedence right now. We've got fire and law enforcement that we really need to make sure, so we need to secure that scene. We need to make sure that those cars are safe before they can get on and check for more casualties.
Interstate 5 was closed in both directions, traffic at a standstill for miles. One victim on the train says he and his fellow passengers were tossed into the seats in front of them as it went off the tracks. President Trump expressing the nation's thoughts and prayers for the victims, but adding the need for changes to our nation's infrastructure.
It is all the more reason why we must start immediately fixing the infrastructure of the United States.
Officials say this was the debut run for Amtrak Train 501 heading from Seattle to Portland, the first to carry commuters on a new high-speed route that traveled further inland to improve travel times.
I was wondering if they did any dry runs on this before the passengers aboard. But yeah, it's a terrible thing. Very upsetting.
Scott Carty, ABC News, Seattle.
Do you remember that cringe-worthy exchange last week between a Republican senator and one of President Trump's judicial nominees who didn't seem to know anything about, like, the law? Matthew Peterson is his name, and he is withdrawing his name from consideration. Peterson, who is up for a lifetime appointment on the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia, struggled to answer basic questions during an exchange with Senator John Kennedy, a Louisiana Republican. The exchange went viral after Senator Sheldon Whitehouse tweeted a link to the video. Trump accepted Peterson's decision to withdraw his nomination. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us, and have a good night.